Hey you guys, I'm coming to you from my lower balcony and it's like right off of my bedroom and it doesn't get a lot of natural sunlight. So me and Julia, we made it into like a little meditation zen zone, and like the cats like to come out here and we just like to chill. And so yeah, so anyway, why am I here? Because I am feeling a lot right now. I'm like in tune with a certain feeling and I want to kind of walk it through on camera. That way anyone who gets stuck and struggles doesn't have to stay there for that long, because it's not a feeling, it's not an emotion that it's not an emotion that is one to really stay in for long, but it is an emotion that, if not treated properly, will take your mental game down for the rest of the day, possibly depending on your anxiety levels, possibly the rest of the week. And especially if you fail to recognize it and you start to see evidence of it, you'll start to see evidence of it everywhere uh, if you don't witness what it is and where it's coming from. And so, um, if I had a, I say this in a lot of my videos. Once I get a producer for my YouTube videos, there's gonna be like a drum roll, please, and I would insert it right there. But I just don't want to do that right now. So, anyway, so that's shame and shame, 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 shame. Oh man, just saying that word stresses me out. Literally, saying the word shame really gets to me. Like, close your eyes and shame on you. Like, it doesn't feel good. Where does it hurt? For me, it hurts in my heart, and it hurts in my shame. It hurts in my throat, and it hurts in my heart. And that leads me to believe that when I lean into that emotion of shame, or that feeling of shame, my throat starts to close up and my heart starts to close up. And so anytime I feel those things, I know I'm in a direction of one that is not in my best interest and not heaven on earth, and that's for sure. And that's not joy, and that's not zest for life. Definitely not lust for life. So anyway, so shame. I don't want to really get into the whole story because it's just a bunch of a projection of my view onto the world that is not so positive. So, um, I was, long story short, I was walking around my neighborhood today, and I just got, for whatever reason, I just felt bad about myself, and it manifested in the form of like I shouldn't be here or something. And it was like, whoa, I haven't felt that in a while. And it hits a certain spot in your body when you just feel like you don't belong. And I felt like that for a long time when I was little, and it hurts, and it kind of presses on your heart, and at least for me. And I don't want to say exactly what it was that caused me to believe that, because if I did, and if I gave that too much light and energy, it takes away from that whole point of getting yourself out of these ruts. Because really, it's just a projection. It's not reality. It's a projection of what I saw. So there is no real objective reality. It's really just the way you see things. It's just the way that you view the world based on your past experiences and things that have harmed you or whatever. So anyway, I was triggered into shame, and I just felt down on myself, and I felt like down on myself, like thinking about myself and thinking downward, literally, quite literally down on myself. And it didn't feel good. And so I was like, I'm going to. Well, okay, no, this would happen. I recognized it, and I was like, wait. I gotta tell my friends about this, and that's all of you. I have to tell my friends about this, because if you're following along with me and really resonating with my work, then you you likely resonate even with my um, the pain that I feel in a lot of ways, and I show it in a lot of ways through my socials and stuff. And I know you feel me, but I imagine that you resonate with that. So for me, shame will trigger me into like an anxious spell for at least a couple days. I mean, minimum a couple days. It's been months before, but what you can do when you get triggered, and I guess let's really build this talk out a little bit, because I feel like step one would be, how to know you're in a trigger or in shame. And one, if you feel like you don't belong, if you feel like you have to manipulate your answer, or you have to um, show up in a certain type of way or something, it feels like drippy, right? It feels like heavy and like drip and slow. It feels like, to me, like slow as molasses, like drip. And it's like gunk around your heart, literally around your heart channel and your throat channel. At least for me, like it could be all different. I mean, I'm sure it manifests differently for other people, but for me, it just kind of drips right here. It's as if something that I ingested I wasn't supposed to ingest or something. And so you know when those feelings come up, something triggered you. And again, I think there's a time and a place to really focus in and hone in on what that trigger is. I think there's definitely a time and a place, and under, I would say, professional type help, you can and when I say professional, I mean, I don't necessarily mean professional, I should say intentional help. Like when you have intentional help, whether that be a really really like in tune family member, or in tune friend, or therapist, or energy worker, or someone like me, literally, when you have the intentional help designated, then I think it's important to travel down the, what are my triggers and things like that. But it's not always important in the moment. It's really not. It's not always even, it's just not important all the time. So if you're feeling that right now, if my tags and my metadata behind YouTube connected with you, and you're watching this video, then I encourage you, don't figure out what triggered you. Don't go down your day and don't try to put yourself in a box, because it just feels smaller. So don't go identify that. Move the other way. It's kind of like when you're riding a bike and you don't want to run over that leaf, but your brain is telling you, don't run over that leaf, don't run out. So you end up just focusing in on that leaf. Instead, if you don't want to run over the leaf, then just point your eyes a little bit left or right, and that's where your bike will go. So with your thoughts, point your thoughts at something that feels healthier and feels better, and move that way right now. Don't go backward into the molasses and the muck. It's just not in your best interest right now. Now tomorrow, when you're feeling better, then maybe remember what this was and talk to someone about it, or reach out or something. But so one, identify that you're in the trigger right now, or the shame trigger right now. And then two, take a second and don't move forward. Don't move forward until you know where you want to go. So if you're a busy body like me and you're triggered into shame, be sure that you've stopped and centered and done step one, which is identify you're in shame, before you move to step two, which is act on anything. So for that could mean that's the time that you meditate, versus having this morning meditative practice, which I'm all for. It doesn't always work for everybody because they can't get on the meditation train. So in that moment, help yourself by saying, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to stop right now before I act in a way. Because if you act it out of that shame, it's kind of, that's when people say, like, law of attraction is a thing. Sorry, my hair's making me kind of crazy. I don't even know. But when you see how thrown off I got by my own insecurity with things, like, you guys, this is tough. So if anyone says you're crazy, you're not. It's a crazy world, not crazy person. Okay. But where was I? This is normally when Julia's like, you were right there. I remember I said step one, and then step two. Oh yeah. Oh, the chain or train of effects that happen when you don't stop and recognize and part ways from that station that is shame, that shame station. If you were to continue to move forward in that, you would attract shameful vibrations. And again, it's all projection, people. It's not reality. It's not kind. It's not real for your life, but it is real for your perception, if that makes sense. And so when you're perceiving something, shameful, and then you move right through it and continue to act in certain types of ways, it literally just causes things of similar vibration to come into your worldview, and then it circles down and down and down and down until typically you hit rock bottom, whatever that is for you, and you look at that finally and say, wait, that's shame, and then you go all the way back up. So we're gonna just bypass that whole down, because that takes a lot of time from you, and you guys got to get your journals out, you guys got to get your books out, you have to get you have to get that new job, and you have to make that extra whatever you want to make, and you have to go adopt that new animal. Like, come on, we have things to do, people. We can't stay down for that long anymore, because we have tools now, and the world is even reflecting a kinder place. And especially if you believe that, it will be a very kind place if you believe that. So anyway, so number one is stop and recognize that you're in shame. Number one is recognize that you're in shame. Number two is stop before acting. And number three is act in a different direction. So let's say shame is in like negative second gear. Make sure you stop and hit neutral, and then go up into first, or go up into second, or go up into fourth if you want, you know? So act in a way that doesn't feel the way you felt earlier. And if you can't get out of it, then don't act on anything. Listen, this whole experience, this whole thing, the whole thing, everything, the whole life thing, everything is all for you. That's all. So I think that that's going to be my message for today, and I appreciate you being here. And honestly, my neighbor over here kind of cut me off because I'm like eavesdropping, you know, it's so hard not to. I always imagine someone eavesdropping on our conversations and having such an enlightened day, being like, hey, you guys, my neighbor's really weird. He like records himself talking to some arbitrary audience, you know, but you're not arbitrary to me, no. So anyway, if you liked this, and if you're in a place where you can hold space for people who are in shame right now, why don't you message and say, I can on the comment section, say, I can hold space if you need me. And then anyone who's in shame right now, why don't you say, does anyone have space right now? And let's see what connections you can make. It's like a bunch of gold in there. It's a bunch of like, it's not gold, it's like pyrite crystal energy. It's like you can get whatever you want, whenever you want it, wherever you want it, however you want it, at whatever price you want it. It can happen. You just gotta put it in there, mix it up, and send it. And it's funny because I don't always speak the proper English to get my points across, but energetically and non-verbally I really do. So I know you felt me, and if you like this stuff, please like this video, and please, if you want, I want to say subscribe, but like if you feel like subscribing, do it. And I want to say more than subscribe, like share it. That would be cool if you could share it. That would be very helpful. So okay, anyway, I'm signing off now. Love ya. Bye bye.